If you spent any time reading about web accessibility, you've probably come across the acronym WCAG and might felt a bit lost. You are definitely not alone. The official documentation is written with extreme technical precision for compliance auditors, which means it often reads like a complex legal standard than a casual guide. That doesn't mean you can't easily master and implement standards on your own digital content. Today, we'll break down exactly what it means in plain, simple terms. WCAG stands for the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. It is the internationally recognized blueprint for making websites, apps, and other digital content usable for people with disabilities. This includes individuals who use screen readers, navigate using a keyboard instead of a mouse, rely on video captions, use screen magnification tools, and a ton of other assistive technology. What we want to help you do is help you think of it as a less rigid technical document and more like a simple checklist that helps make online content more inclusive. Imagine opening a physical storefront. You would naturally want to ensure that absolutely anyone could walk through the front door, read your signs, and find what they need. WCAG takes that exact same thinking and applies it directly to the web. To make WCAG easier to understand, we're going to think of it as a filing cabinet with three main parts. We start with the 4 core principles, which are our drawer. Every single requirement in the current WCAG 2.2 standard falls under 4 foundational pillars, easily remembered by the acronym POUR. P is for perceivable. Perceivable means nothing important should be invisible. Users must be able to naturally take in your content, meaning images need text, and descriptions and text must have sufficient color contrast. Operable means your website should never require only one way to use it. Users must seamlessly be able to move through navigation and forms using a keyboard alone, with interactive elements large enough to easily click or tap. Understandable means people shouldn't have to guess what's happening or what's coming next. Your layout should be predictable and your forms should clearly explain how to fix an error. Robust means your website must continue to work as technologies evolve. It needs to be built with clean code so it interacts with different browsers, devices, and assistive tools. Inside those 4 drawers sit 13 guidelines, our file folders. These act as your general goal. They tell us the different things on our websites to look at for accessibility concerns. And thirdly, the success criteria, or the documents. Inside each folder are the actual success criteria. These are the specific, testable, pass or fail checkpoints that we can use to test with. In WCAG 2.2, the most current standard, there are 86 success criteria, and they're grouped into 3 progressive levels. Level A, the absolute baseline floor that removes critical barriers, blocking users entirely. Level AA, the target standard that most organizations aim for, and the baseline specified by global accessibility laws. Level AAA, the highest possible bar, which is excellent to strive for, but not typically expected across an entire website. Let's see how WCAG might work in practice. Imagine someone visits a service provider's website and wants to book an appointment, request a quote, or send a simple message through the contact form. At first glance, the form may look fine. It has a name field, email field, message box, and submit button. But accessibility problems can still show up in ways the business owner oftentimes won't notice. Maybe the field only says email inside the box, and when someone starts typing, that label disappears. Now the person has to remember what the field was asking for. Maybe the error message only says there was a problem, but doesn't explain what needs to be fixed. Maybe the submit button is hard to find with a keyboard, or the form doesn't clearly tell someone whether it was submitted or not. For someone using assistive technology using a keyboard, dealing with low vision, or simply trying to complete the form quickly, those small issues can become real barriers. This is where WCAG becomes helpful. It gives us a way to verify if our forms are accessible. Can people tell what each field is asking for? Can they move through the form without a mouse? If they make a mistake, does the form clearly explain what happened? When they submit the form, do they know whether it worked or not? WCAG helps us move beyond how the form looks and ask, can people actually use it? If you're brand new to accessibility, that still might feel confusing. Don't worry about trying to remember and understand everything right away. When you're looking at your website, blog, videos, or digital downloads, just start asking yourself, could everyone see and hear my content? Could they access or use any interactive elements like links, buttons, and forms with or without a mouse? Is the information easy to understand? And is it usable in different browsers and with different devices? You might not know all the answers to those questions yet, but hopefully it will help you get started in the right direction. Creating a more accessible website isn't about knowing and fixing everything right away. It's about fixing one thing at a time and making long-term improvements. Stay tuned for future videos breaking down POUR and the success criteria even further. And if you aren't aware of why accessibility matters for your business, watch our video about ADA compliance and how WCAG fits into that.